welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. What I do know is that I am part of a very exclusive group of ladies who are part of the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group, and I have listed their channels down in my description box. It'd be awesome once you've watched this video if you pop over and have a look at some of theirs. Now, today's video is this fabulous neon green look using a Revolution palette, an OhMyGlitter neon pigment, and a pretty fabulous new highlight, which I think we can agree is stunning. So, if you want to see just exactly how I use these to create this look, my friends, you are in precisely the right place. Here comes the tutorial. Hey, welcome back from the intro. You will have seen this already. This is the Revolution Reloaded Passion for Colour. While I zoom in, I will put swatches up on screen for you. As you can see, there is an awful lot of shimmers and not so many mattes. But you will also know that really doesn't bother me. These are just numbered, so there's 1 to 8 on the top row and 9 to 15 on the bottom. As you can see, colours 6 and colours 9. A little bit difficult to see in my skin tone. So, right, hello, and back to me. Hi. See, that was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? I should have given you a bit of warning that you were going to be this close. Right, all I've got on my eyes so far is Revolution Conceal and Define in C1, which I have set, as always, with my Coty Airspun Extra Coverage Translucent. Absolutely blooming love that powder. It's super finely milled. It's the closest I've found to the Laura Mercier powder, and it does a fantastic job of helping to control my oils as well. I notice the difference if I don't use that specific powder. It is highly scented though. That's why I managed to buy it off a mate of mine when she'd been to America, because she just couldn't get on with the smell. So, you can buy it over here from Amazon. If you choose Prime eligible sellers, even if you've not got Prime, then you will at least know and be sure that the product is genuine, because as I understand it, where Prime is administered by Amazon and dispatched by Amazon, the seller has to prove validity of item. Right. Long-term viewers can probably say all of this bit with me, but newbies, especially if you've come over from the Beauty YouTuber Growth Group, won't have seen this before. So, when I look straight ahead, you can see all of my mobile eyelid, so I don't have a hooded eye. Now, if you can't see all of your lid, you've either got a full or a half hooded eye, or a mono lid, or an Asian eye. Now, you can still follow my tutorial. When I put my crease down, I will literally be following the socket, the bone of my eye socket. If you want to follow along, get a flat brush, something similar to this, and with your eye open, just mark where you would need your crease to be. So you're basically creating a new crease and extending where your lid is. So you're bringing your lid a lot further up your eye. Now, I've got very deep set eyes, so I'm lucky I've got a lot of lid to play with. Obviously, by moving your crease up, it's going to reduce the amount of space between your crease and your brow. Many ways to deal with this. Easiest two, first one is simply just to raise your brows and stretch the eyelid out. See the difference? The other thing is to look at the type of brush you are using. Now, I always start off with a very loosely packed blending brush. If you have less space, either because you have hooded lids or because maybe you have a smaller eyelid space anyway, if you start off with still a loose blending brush, but you can see that the tip of the brush, the area or the circumference of the brush that's actually going to be touching your skin is smaller than this first brush that I'm going to be starting with. It will mean you may have to work a little bit longer to get the blown out blend that you want, but it does mean you have more control over the area that you're blending out to. I start with this brush and then move on to this one. If you're starting with this, I then suggest you get something like this, which is a tapered crease brush. Looks like a pencil brush, but it's still very, very loose, so it's still great for blending. And you can see that literally you've just got the tip of it touching your eye. So it's really, really easy. You can still follow my tutorial or any tutorials. It's literally just a case of just a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of fine adjustment. I'm just making sure I used the black with this last time. I'm just making sure when I use my colour switch that I have definitely got all the pigment out of the brush, and I have. I haven't got the Veromona colour switch. I've got a cheap one that cost me about £4 off of eBay because I'm not a beauty YouTuber and I don't get paid for my videos, and I am not spending £20 on a piece of fluffy sponge to clean my brush with. If you don't have that, you can just use a flannel, a face towel, a microfiber cloth. You know, I've even been known to clean my brushes on my hair towel. So, you know, just whatever. So, let's get some colour onto these eyes, shall we? Right, now the most difficult colours to create are red, blue, and obviously purple, because that's a mixture of those two colours, greens, and to a certain extent yellows. So, there are 3 purples, a blue, 3 greens, nice yellow here. Now normally I will go straight in with purples because they are pretty much the most difficult to create. But I have done a lot of purpley looks lately, so I think I might go in with the greens this time, just to be a little bit different, and also because I've got this pretty blinding neon pigment to use from OhMyGlitter, and it just seems wrong if I'm doing a green look not to give that a bit of a trial run, hey? So I am going to go into this one to start with, then this one, then this one. So that's 2, 5 and 14, which, as it happens, are all shimmers. So we are breaking the first rule: don't put a shimmer through your crease. Whilst this can be true, it can emphasise lines, it very much depends on the type of brush you are using. If you use a dense brush like this, which you would normally use to pack colour onto the brow, onto the lid rather, then obviously that's going to settle into lines and look bloody awful if you're using it through your crease. But if you use a blending brush, 9 times out of 10, you can still get a very good look without it actually settling too much into fine lines. So, let's begin. So I'm going to start on the outside edge, and I'm just going to gently do a windscreen wiper movement to lay some colour down, backwards and forwards, swiping backwards and forwards like a windscreen wiper. As I said, I'm following my eye socket. You follow your line if you've had to move your crease up. Now, I'm 44. My eyelids are not as young as they used to be. I've also lost about 10-11 stone over the last few years, so because of that, my eyelids move. This eye where I'm blind in got pulled around a lot as a child at the ophthalmic, and you can see I've actually got permanent creasing here, which is great for demonstrating the tiger stripe or the barcoding that you can get when you put your eyeshadow on if you're not careful. Now, the best way that I've found to get eyeshadow on in a way that it moves the skin around on your eye without tugging at it is to hold your brush right at the very end, so you put as little pressure on as possible, and then do little circular movements. So I'm following that line across that I've just laid down. When I get to the middle, I'm not going to lift my brush off of my lid, I'm going to lift it up a bit and just reverse the direction and come back out. Now, I am actually expecting a delivery any time in the next couple of hours, so what's the wedding it arrives? When I'm halfway through doing my eyes and look an absolute lunatic. So you can see I've just blended the colour up. Now, because I've got creasing on the outside edge of my eyes here, I do have to work a little bit harder just to get pigment onto this top corner. It's not the palette's fault. If it is the palette's fault, I will tell you. If you're wondering whether you can rely on me to tell you the truth, have a look at my palette fail video. That will answer your question. Now, I tend to leave at least a 4 or 5 mil gap from the lowest part of my brow, roughly, brush width, because I find then if I'm going to put a highlight here, I don't always do it. Sometimes if I'm doing a very, very smoky look, I just want that depth. I don't want any highlight. I just want the eyes to be very smoky, very deep. You'll see that in a couple of the videos that I've done recently where I've not put highlight on, which has shocked quite a few people because they're so used to seeing me with highlight and highlight queen, glowing for the gods. But there are some times that I just don't use it. But if you do use it, particularly if you're using a shimmer, you need to leave a strip of skin, because otherwise the brow highlight just ends up blending into the eye look and doesn't give you the effect that you want. So once you've got the depth of colour you want, might mean you have to build it up a couple of times, because some of the Revolution pigments go on quite sheer because they're designed for beginners, they're designed for learners, so you can build the colour up. So if you're not very confident with pigment, you don't suddenly get warm pigment, there you go, deal with that, blend it out, because that freaks a lot of people out. Particularly think about subculture, for example, how that freaked people out, and you had to use it in a certain way because it was a pressed pigment, so it was a lot more, it delivered a lot more pigment straight away. So once you've got the depth of colour you want, I then like to do little tiny windscreen wiper movements just up and down, just to make sure that every single bit of the lid that I want to have colour on has got colour on it. Okay, and you can see I have used that shimmer, but does it make this eye look 10 years older than this eye? No. So anybody who tells you first rule of makeup, you can't use a shimmer in the crease, I'm a rebel. I'm a rule breaker. You tell me I can't do something, I'm going to try and prove you wrong. My granddad always said to me, the only thing men can do better than you, sweetheart, is write their name in the snow without using their hands. It took me a few years to work out what he meant. But I was brought up very much with the attitude, don't tell me what you can't do, tell me what you can do. And now that I'm disabled with chronic pain, I've got arthritis through 3/4 of my spine, I've got sciatica down my right hand side, and I have got pretty bad fibromyalgia, which I'd never heard of until I went to the doctor saying, I think my arthritis is spreading. Filled in a questionnaire and answered a few different things and had some blood tests to rule out things like inflammatory arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, and apparently, yeah, it's fibromyalgia that I've got, which it's kind of like arthritis of the muscles. It's like someone's beaten you with a baseball bat without actually having had the beating first. There are a lot of different symptoms of fibro, and they can change between different people. Me personally, I have the intense reaction to pain. Some days I cannot do this because just simply touching my skin hurts everywhere. I suffer particularly in my calves and my feet. There are times that even just having we've got one of those shower heads that you can actually change them from like a soft shower to a jet, depending on the positioning of the holes and stuff. And there are times that I have it on the absolute lightest, almost like a gentle spray setting, and even that really, really hurts my skin. I get what feels like the worst sunburn or gravel rash all down my shins, and it feels like someone's going up and down them with a grater. So, yeah, I suffer an awful lot. I suffer with my shoulders, my neck, my hips. Believe it or not, the inside of my knees. It feels like someone's got a hammer and just gone boom, 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 boom in between my two kneecaps. So yeah, it's really frustrating, and it's very debilitating. There are days when literally I can't put makeup on. I'm in too much pain. The repetitive movements that you have when you're blending, just I can't do it. But having been brought up the way I was, I'm like, don't tell me what I can't do, tell me what I can. So I can't do makeup today, what can I do? Let's see if I can do some editing, and if I can't do that, then I just have to do self-care, which basically means watching YouTube videos. And gentle stretching. Right, so that's the first colour laid down. Really nice, fresh, kind of minty green almost. So I'm going to go into colour number 5. I'm going to use the same brush. And I'm going for like a monochromatic look today. I'm going to do all greens. Initially we're going to start off the same way. So we're going to put our windscreen wiper swiping down. But this time we're not going to go up the eye. We're going to keep the bottom of the brush level with the top of that line we've put down. And we're going to take that across the eye. And we're going to reverse the direction. But we're not lifting the brush up. We're still staying in contact with that line we put down first. And we're just going to buff this backwards and forwards. Now, shimmers, if you're using them like this, obviously they are not designed to be blended out like this. So you will find that they are more patchy, particularly when you get to the darker shades. And you will find you'll probably have to do a little bit more blending with them. But the finished effect is stunning, it really is. It's very different to when you've used mattes on your eyes. Really does draw attention to the eyes, and it's a stunning look. It really is. It's definitely worth trying. If you decide you don't like it, well then maybe don't buy this palette, because I think there's only about three or four mattes in it. There's a russety matte, an orangey matte. Is that pink one matte? No, pink one's a satin. So yeah, this one is mainly a shimmer palette. So if you've got a lot of, I've taken all the colour off of this by the way. I'm just going to buff over where the two colours meet because I just want them to blend together a bit better. If you've got a lot of neutral palettes and you want something that's going to give you a pop of colour, this palette would be ideal, and it's £4 for goodness sake. So if you do want something just to give you a pop of colour on the eye because you're only starting to get into colours, this could be a good palette for you to start with. Okay, so you can see the difference that makes. Just gives a little bit more depth to the eye. Anything that you lighten comes forward, anything you deepen goes back. So we're actually making the eye look like it's deeper set. We're giving it more depth and definition by adding our shading. And now I'm going to do the other eye. I don't speed my tutorials up because I want people that are beginning to be able to follow through and see exactly how long it takes me to blend these out. Now, it doesn't show as well with a shimmer as it does with a matte, but unfortunately I do get tiger stripes just here, and the normal twirly whirly blending doesn't fix them, so I just have to very gently pull my lid out like that. Do not do that unless you already have that issue like me. Try the twirly whirling first, because if you do that too much when you haven't already got permanent creasing there, trust me, you will end up with permanent creasing. The skin on your eyes is the thinnest, most delicate skin on your body. It's the equivalent of tissue paper and should therefore be treated as gently as you would tissue paper. That's why you very often see separate creams for eyes, because it's a slightly lighter formula, because you wouldn't want to use something as heavy as you would use on your feet or your elbows or your knees, which are the thickest parts of your skin. You wouldn't want to use something that heavy on your eyes because it would just weight them down too much. Again, I've taken all the colour off and I'm just blending those two shades together. How's your day been? I'm so rude, I haven't even asked you yet. I do hope you've had a good day. Or if you're watching me while you're getting ready and having your breakfast, I hope your day is fabulous. I do always get more fallout like this on this eye, simply because the skin on this eye moves a lot more than the other eye, because it got pulled around so much when I was a kid. It's one of the reasons why when I'm using a palette I've not used before, I'm not sure what the fallout's going to be like and how well it dusts away, I will do my eyes first before my base. Normally I'll do my base first and then my eyes, but only once I'm used to the palette. Right, I am now going down to my smaller tapered brush. If you've started with this, now's the time to go to the tapered crease brush. And I am going to go into a colour 14, which is the darkest of the greens in this palette. And I'm going to pick some colour up. Now these are quite densely packed, so I am having to work quite hard to get some pigment up onto them. So I'm going to start off just by tapping a bit of the pigment on the outside edge of the eye here, about the outer third roughly, and just giving that a gentle buff backwards and forwards, just to deepen up the outside corner. And then I'm going to pick up some more of the colour and run it through the crease as we have with the previous two shades. But this time, taking all the colour off the brush, I'm just going to blend what I've put down. Now the previous colour, we kept the bottom part of the brush level with the top of the line. This time we are going to blend out completely on the line. We're not going to move up at all, because I still want to give this colour its moment and this colour its moment. Now with this eye you'll be able to see it much easier because I can close the eye, but obviously where I'm blinding it, if I close this eye not much is going to happen. It's got like a Jackson Pollock. So I'm going to look down into the mirror that I have here and tilt my head back slightly just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just using really little tiny movements just to blend that green, keeping it on that line completely, not going above it at all. I'm literally just blending that pigment out that we've already put down to give a nice seamless transition between the three greens. Okay. And now, you can probably guess what I'm going to do. Yep, I'm going to repeat it on the other eye. So initially, just lay some pigment on the outside third of the eye. So much easier when you can close. I am so jealous of people that can close both eyes. But it's just another one of those things sent to try me. And again, run that colour through. See what I mean about the tiger striping just here? I'm just going to take the pigment off the brush because I don't want to actually put any more pigment on. I'm happy with the depth of shade that's actually laid down. Now I'm just going to blend that line, not going up the eye at all, just blending that line out, just softening it, making sure we've got a seamless transition. I'm heading a bit into ASMR territory, I know, I'm sorry, I must stop doing that. I keep forgetting, it's weird, I've got such a quiet voice when I'm talking, but when I'm singing I'm a bit of a powerhouse. Shocks people, they don't expect it. They're like, where did that voice come from? Let me know if you ever want me to upload any videos of me at karaoke so you can see what I mean. I mean, this is technically my beauty channel, but it's beauty and lifestyle, and I suppose going to a karaoke is a bit of a lifestyle choice. Right, now, time for me to get my pigment. Now, I've not used this pigment yet. I have absolutely no idea whether it's going to be best applied with a mixing medium or best applied just with a wet brush. Now I've got this, which is a kid's. There you go, a little bit of ASMR for you. Right, it's a kid's plastic paintbrush thing, basically. Now I'm going to open up this. Now I like to use, I bought some nail art brushes from Tinternet because they are super thin, which is what I want when I'm applying pigment. You can get them super flat, as you can see. Now, Revolution have just come out with a mixing medium, and actually it's quite a good one. £6. You can see I've used a fair amount of it already. Practicing with pigments. Now, you can see this is super filled. So I'm going to take a scoopful. Look at how bright that is, that's really playing with my white balance. And I'm just going to dollop that into one of these little divots. One of the little circular bits. Put the lid back on before I drop that and get it every blooming where. Now, I always shake the mixing medium. I don't know if you're meant to, but I always do. Unscrew it, pump the button on the top a bit, and then I'm just going to put 2 drops in initially, because all pigments are different. Some of them need a lot of mixing medium to get them to a stage that you can use them. Some of them don't need very much at all, as I found out when I used the blush dry pigment. I put way too much liquid in it. I like to test it out on the back of my hand to make sure it's not too runny. And yet it seems like 2 drops is exactly what this particular pigment. Now I'm going to put the lid back on. put the lid back on my mixing medium, and I've just managed to shoot this straight across the thing, so I'm so glad that I put the blooming lid on it. Honestly, I am such a klutz. So I hope you can see here. Oh, she's trying to. It's literally sort of the consistency of milk, really. So let's try popping some of this onto the eye. Wow, that's pretty bright. Okay, let's see whether it's opaque enough to cover some. Yes, apparently it is. Awesome. Do you know what? OhMyGlitter does such amazing. This is it's the first one of her neons that I've tried. I've actually got a gold pigment of hers that I got in my April mystery box this year. That's where I got my Get Sprung palette from. If I remember, I'll link the tutorial with that. That was my Persephone inspired tutorial. So you can see I'm literally just how pretty is that pigment? Oh my goodness. I might have to go and buy the other colours now. I got this one and I got the purple. But I know she's got some other colours as well. Oh Lord, this is going to cost me a fortune. I can see it coming. I am properly. Robin, what are you doing to me, girl? You're going to bankrupt me. Keep producing such great stuff. Was that my door? No, it wasn't. I'm hearing things. One of the things you can see that I do suffer with, where I've got deep set eyes, very similar to people with hooded eyes, is that I do tend to get transfer onto the upper lids, which can be very, very annoying. See? But I'm not going to cut it right up there today. I'm just going to let this dry. I'll just go over that top bit again with some more of the shimmer from the palette. I think this is a stunning pigment. Kind of want to paint it all over me now, but I don't think that pot's going to be big enough. Right, let's put that up there for a minute. Clean this brush off. Just while this pigment dries a little bit. I've got a cotton round here with makeup remover on, if you're wondering what I use to clean my brushes with. I use that on a daily when I've used them, and then the rest of the time I then give them, I've got a proper cleaning shampoo that I use for them once a week when they get their deep clean. Right, now I'm just going to grab that tapered crease brush, pick up a little bit of colour 5, and just smudge over where that pigment transferred up, just so it's a little bit less obvious. There. Right, I'm going to pause you again, I'm sorry, and I'm just going to go and do my foundation and stuff. You don't need to see that bit, it's boring. And then I'll come back and we'll finish off under the eyes here. Please don't go anywhere. As you can see, base and everything's done. Thought I'd bung my lippy on, take my hair down as well. Foundation I've used today is Beauty Bakery Cake Mix in shade 59, which is the lightest one they do. Went a little bit ham with the bronzer today, but it's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and it smells like coconut and I can never resist that. So bunged my Life's a Peach L'Oreal in shade Peach Addict. And now the lippy is Essence Vibrant Shock in shade Black Widow. There is actually a story behind this. This one and this shade, which is called Night Stalker. Now, a lot of the Wilkinsons are stocking a lot of the Essence makeup. I've got no idea why, because it's brilliant stuff. I'm so gutted, I wish I'd known, because I would have picked up 2 or 3 more tubes of their lash glue, because their lash glue is the best one I've ever found. But mate of mine, Millie, was in her local one, and she messaged me saying, Ange, they've got the blue one you wanted, and they've got a grey one as well, would you like them? And they were down to like 50p each. I'm like, oh my god, yes please. When they arrived, I messaged her going, awesome, they've arrived, how much do I owe you in terms of like postage wise? Obviously I owe you £1 for the lippies, what's your PayPal? She refused to give me her PayPal because she said, no, not like it cost me a lot, I just wanted to do something nice for you to cheer you up. So Millie, thank you darling, you don't realise how touched. I'm trying not to cry because I've got my makeup on. You don't realise how much that touched me. I was having a particularly low day. And knowing that you would do something like that just to cheer me up was just... I'm a little bit emotional now. Should have said this before I put my makeup on. Right, let's zoom you in and finish the eyes off. Let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing, shall we? Oh, right, okay. See? Genuine tears there, folks. Right. Going in with this flat brush. And I don't know whether to go in with the green or whether to try one of the purples. I think I might go in with a couple of the purples, you know. So I'm going to go in with 15 and then I'm going to blow it out with 13 and possibly number 8. So let's pick up this darker purple first. I'm just going to smudge this very gently on the lower lash line, going about 2/3 of the way along. You can put liner into your waterline if you wish, but I have very watery eyes even when I'm not welling up. And if I put anything in my waterline, it either ends up smudging off or, you know, washing off, or it ends up collected here like a little black bogey or a little green bogey, whatever colour I happen to have used. So you will sometimes see photos of me where I've put that on, but it will literally be for the photo, unless I've used one of the Jeffree liquid lipsticks, because that will at least set down and stay put. Right, I'm now going in with this. Apparently my brushes are got got a ghost who's thrown them at me today. This is actually the Tarte brush that came in with the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. So it's the same as the last brush I've just used, but it's just a lot thicker. So it's awesome for blowing this bottom colour out. So let's pick up some of the purple and a fraction of that pink as well. I'm just going to really gently just buff along that lower line, right the way along. Just to really buff that colour out and soften the look. As you can see, I really quite like that. So we're going to do the same with the other eye. I always flinch when I'm doing this one because obviously being blind in this eye, I have to rely on muscle memory and my viewfinder or my mirror to not actually poke myself in the eye. And folks, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know it's not always working. I really like that. Right, now, another one of my friends, Kerry, mummy of Sheila Wolf, ping, photo of Shea, while I get my, there we go, I get my brush. Hello, back again. Isn't that dog amazingly gorgeous? Right, she actually recommended this, which is Glass Skin Highlighter, from a company, I think it's pronounced Rivehr, I think that's Rivehr Cosmetics. If it's not, and somebody does know how they're pronounced, let me know in the comments box please, because I hate mispronouncing names. This is in shade 01. Plastic container, clear lid, very similar to the original Ofra packaging. Let's get this open. And you can see beautiful design in the pan, really pretty, and it's a lovely champagne-y gold. So we're going to pick some of this up on a little brush. We're going to pop a little bit on the inner corner. Whoa, hello, on the inner corner here, and just bring it down to meet our under eye, just to brighten it up. Apparently doing this in the corner of your eye can actually make you look more youthful and gives the eyes a dewy look. I don't understand the science of it, I just think it looks pretty. And I'm going to pop a bit under the tail of my brow, because, well, why not really? It also helps emphasise what curve I don't have, so it kind of makes it look a little bit more curvy. I've got very straight brows, it's only because I've plucked the end of them here that I've got anything like a curve. They were literally like, whoom! So I always looked permanently angry as a kid. To be fair, I was permanently angry as a kid, so I guess that's why God gave me those kind of eyebrows. Right, let's zoom you out. Yes, I know I've not done my mascara yet, but I don't want to risk getting powder on my mascara. This is a Zoeva 105 Luxe Highlight Brush, similar kind of shape to the Anastasia A23, but just a little bit taller. So we'll put a little bit of highlighter down the nose. Wow. And a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Try not to get lipstick on the brush, and succeeding. And then on the chin, although my chin does stick out far enough already, thanks for that, Dad. And then, oh wow, okay. Thanks for the tip, Kerry. This is a beautiful. This is. Are you seeing this? This is stunning. It's not emphasising texture or anything. Beautiful wet look. Oh, I can see this is going to become one of my favourites. Mrs. Sheila Wolf knows what she's talking about, doesn't she, eh? Do you love the fact that my mate's just like, oh my god, Ange, you've got to try out this new highlighter? Because my aesthetic is, of course, Tin Man. You know, if you can't see my highlight from the space station, then I haven't got enough on. Occasionally, you will see me not put highlighter on. Now, that's normally if I'm going for a very matte look, so I'll use a very matte foundation, and usually a very, very dark smoky eye and a pale lip. There are times that I don't actually use highlighter, but when I use highlighter, I use highlighter. Might even put a little bit down here, just on my collarbone, just so I've got a little bit of sparkle, and maybe a little bit just in the hollow of the throat there as well. You will see these tops a lot. I bought about 6 of them in navy blue and black because it's ideal for doing the makeup, partly because it standardises what I'm actually wearing, but also because it's got a really, where it's got this bar down neckline, it's really easy to take off without disturbing what I've done on my face, particularly if I have done false lashes. Wow, I just want to keep putting more of this on. Do you ever get like that when you get a new highlight, you just put it on and you're like, it's beautiful, I need more. I need more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Or is that just me? Right, let's get you zoomed back in so I can see what I'm doing while I'm putting this mascara on, and you can see what I'm doing when I'm putting this mascara on. I'm going to go in with the Bad Gal Bang from Benefit. It's not waterproof, so if I'm wearing this on a night out, I'll put it on, let it dry, and then I'll go over it with a waterproof mascara. Wiggle it into the base of the lashes and then just blink through them. It is a really stunning mascara, this one, certainly one of my favourites. Oh, just pipe myself in the eye. That's that thing where I was saying my peripheral vision doesn't always, you know, not having any can be a bit of a bugger. I actually used my concealer when I was doing my base to give me a bit of a sharper line here because I didn't want to detract from that beautiful neon pigment by putting a eyeliner on. And I'm a 2 coats of mascara girl. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm going to do 50s style and just run the tip of the brush along them. It's a really good tip actually because you're much less likely to catch your nose or your cheekbone than when you do it this way. And it really separates the lashes nicely, as you can see. And if you do get any clumping, it's easy enough just to do that with. Setting spray time. Right, so let's zoom you out. Yoink. Take the ears off. Try and sort the hair out. Right, although I don't actually have to go anywhere today, so instead of going in with a setting spray, I'm going in with this Mario Badescu spray in aloe, herbs and rose water. This is like Fix Plus, so it doesn't extend the wear of your foundation, but I know this one lasts all down me anyway. It's like a facial moisturiser. It blends all the powders together, so if you have gone a bit ham, it just helps to merge everything together and finish you off nicely. It smells amazing. It smells like Turkish delight. You know the stuff you get at Christmas in the icing sugar, not the chocolate. Now, most people would stop here. However, if I spent this amount of time making myself look good, long term viewers say it with me, I want my makeup to stay put. So, I'm a little bit extra and I use just a little bit extra. You don't have to use extra if you don't want to. Right, so there we go. There's today's pretty striking green look, it's got to be said. So, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, it'd be great if you could hit that like button for me, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to ring my bell, and choose all notifications. And then you get told every time I upload another one of these videos. Talking of another one of these videos, have you seen all of them? I've got a lot to watch, you know. Why don't you skip over and have a look at another one? And when you finish looking at mine, in the description box, you will find a list of some lovely ladies who are in the beauty YouTuber growth group, and they, similar to myself, have very small channels, and we like to give each other a shout out just to help spread our love of makeup with everybody else out there in YouTube land. So it would mean an awful lot to me if once you've watched my videos, if you pop over and just have a look at some of theirs. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Right, all that remains for me to say, as ever, is you'll stay fabulous, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.